What's going on, y'all? Brisk Talk Podcast, Corporatelike Entertainment. Just want to touch on the two Jay-Z interviews, the one with GQ and New York Times. I think it's important to touch on those. I like to let shit marinate for a little bit, give it some time, before I instantly dive into a review or, these niggas, an interview drop, they already got something to say. I like to let shit marinate and, use our thinking caps, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't use their thinking caps. But taking things slow. I did some promo in Baltimore, a little bit of Philly. I ain't touched on like I wanted to. Kentucky and most recently Tennessee. I plan on hitting New York probably, I'm thinking August, just for promo and marketing for the brand. But I just wanted to, in the meantime, corporatelike.com, Corporatelike Entertainment, Brisk Talk Podcast, please subscribe. But back to Jay-Z. We'll start on the GQ joint with the young boy. I forget his name. No disrespect. They talk about Jay-Z was in a dark place when they filed a lawsuit for the lawyer or whatever with that lady, saying he raped her or whatnot. I ain't gonna dive in too much to it. I'll say this though, I can see both sides. People are saying that he did it. People say that he didn't. People think that he was having sex with young girls. People say that he didn't. I can see both sides. But I won't even get into that because that's a whole nother conversation. But I like how he talked about how Reasonale Doubt is like a novel. I like that comparison due to the fact like that album is like a novel. It's like a handbook for mafioso rap and just real life shit, especially on dead presidents. Alibis ain't catching. What is that? Alibis ain't matching up. Bullshit catching up. That shit's real for people that really live that life. So I do compare that to a novel. I like that comparison. I think that's really a good comparison. He's also said that music should be experienced in its totality. For so long, one side of music was only represented. That's true. I feel like only one side was only represented. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of genres took from jazz and hip-hop and R&B. But again, I can't dive too much into that because that's a whole nother subject and that's a whole nother situation. He also discussed the 4 pillars of hip-hop: DJing, graffiti, breakdancing, and battling. He said, are they dead? I think in today's climate, the DJ's still alive, but I feel like it's by a thread. I do. I feel like it's by a thread. Graffiti, you don't see that too often now. Really popular in the mid 80s. Maybe late 70s, I could be wrong. Breakdancing, I mean, they have it as a sport at the Olympics, I think. Yeah, at the Olympics, which is cool. But do we see it like day to day, like back in the day? I think those were the 4 pillars of hip hop. And then, battling, I think like right now, battling's so oversaturated, like it doesn't really mean much anymore. It's, I don't know, it's just different. It wasn't like back in the day where, it had a J and Nas and D Block and fucking Rockefeller. It's just different. It's immediate responses. It's a lot of fabrication. It's a lot of mediocre shit. Even actual battle rap. I used to watch battle rap heavy. Loaded Lux, Hollow, people like that. I don't really, doesn't move me no more. It's really oversaturated. But I'm gonna switch it back to back to the 4 pillars. Battling, and I'm gonna dive right into it. Jay-Z mentioned in the interview that he don't know if battling should be a part of the culture no more. I'm gonna call bullshit. Just on the strength of, I know what he's referring to. Referring to that Kendrick and Drake battle. Did that battle go overboard? Yeah, it probably did. But I think Jay-Z's contradicting for saying it should be a part of hip hop, or give some grace and some devil's advocate. He's 50 now, over 50, I believe. So maybe he matured. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he had a different mindset, and that's okay. But I think him saying that was because of the Drake and Kendrick beef. It did take a left turn. I think lines were crossed, but again, that was battling though. You know what I'm saying? And just because Drake's crying or whatnot, or people say or Drake said he went too far. You don't have. It's no rules in battling, dog. I can talk about your dead kid, your dead mom, whoever. I don't know, whoever fucking dead, or your dead homies, or whatever that looks like. I don't know, but ain't no rules to battle. He said that same shit in an interview with Elliot Wilson and B Dot some years ago, when Drake said he felt like Pusha T went too far, talking about his friend dying or something like that, 40, with his disease. Dog, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. If I'm battling, I'm gonna touch on everything that's gonna hurt you so I can win. That's the game. That's what battling is. Like, so I just, I didn't agree with Jay-Z said should be a part of the culture no more. I don't think it should be no rules to battling. Ain't no rules to battling, dog. We're battling. So if I'm fighting on the street, is it rules? All right, now you can't use no weapons, or you can't use your feet. You know what I mean? Or if people have honor, right? I ain't gonna use a weapon when I'm fighting, but it just don't make sense, dog. It don't make sense. But the 4 pillars of hip hop, man, it's almost a lost art. Graffiti, breakdancing. Again, DJ is on a fucking thin thread, dog. Like, it's just unfortunate what hip hop is now, or even the 4 pillars. A lot of things is social media, dog. Social media. And I think Jay said back in that interview in GQ, social media takes up so much space. It does. You got these people that know it all. You got the people that's instant reactions when something drop, or you got just people dictating when people should drop and dictating this and dictating that, dog. Social media's probably been the worst thing that ever happened to hip hop. I'm just gonna keep it a buck, like, for real. These stan armies. You got the people that love Drake. You got the people that love Kendrick. You got people that love Eminem. You got people that love Jay-Z. Why can't we just have a real discussion? You can love them all you want, but let's be honest. Let's be real. People that love Young Thug, people that love Future. Let's have a discussion. It don't have to be a hate campaign. Like, it doesn't. It don't have to be a hate campaign. It don't, because it's one-sided. It's your perspective. It's implicit biases. It's biases. It's one-sided, and this is not fair. But as far as that, people thought the interview was almost staged. I can see that. I just appreciate the interview just off the strength of Jay-Z talking. I don't talk too much, I thought it was a dope interview. People gonna call me biased. I don't really give a fuck. I thought it was a good interview. I did want more questions asked about, it's an album dropping, or, fucking, shit like that, or the camera situation or whatnot. I'd like to hear more questions about that, but I think he's gearing up for an album on the strength of the Roots Picnic, the freestyle. I ain't even getting to that, and I probably won't get into that right now. Jay-Z's 30-year anniversary of Reasonale Doubt next in a couple of weeks, or a couple days, I think. Like, it's gearing up to, like, album release. The Yankee Stadium joint, extra innings and all that shit at the Yankee Stadium, 3 days of his concert or whatnot. So I just think that he's gearing up for something. But that interview was good. I think what stood out for me was the 4 pillars of hip hop. I think that was something that needs to be talked about more, and I think that's important. But I'm gonna move on to the New York Times interview in a second.